Good morning, New Life. My name is Ryan. If you don't know me, my wife, my beautiful wife, Rachel, and I, we moved to New Mexico about a year ago from Minnesota, and we've been thoroughly enjoying our fellowship with New Life ever since. And we're pumped about the journey and the mission that the elders have us on. I wanted to chat briefly about the presence of the Lord and how it has worked in my life. If you're part of a life group, you would have spoken a little bit about the presence of the Lord throughout the week. And as I briefly talk about this, think about your life. Think about your life contrasted with the dead person that was then resurrected in Christ. Before I knew the Lord, I lived a life of debauchery. I lived a life seeking pleasure. It was always pleasure. You're seeking the peaks in life. But when you don't have the peaks in life, you're in the lows of life. That means that, if I went out to the bar and I wanted to hook up with a gal, well, that if I achieved that, I would have been at a peak. I'd have been like, I got what I wanted. And then if I failed, I hated my life. Go back home, drunk and lonely. What a worthless life, first off. I think most of us can go ahead and recognize that. And this works this way because, in a way, when you're living a life for pleasure, you're worshiping this pleasure. And when what you're worshiping betrays you, so I'm worshiping pleasure, I don't get pleasure, my God has betrayed me. And the Lord has never betrayed me. Never once. I have found myself in some ornery spots in life, but it's never been because the Lord wasn't faithful to me. It's been because I was not faithful to Him. You see, in this high life, low life scenario, the peace and contentment that comes with the Lord is constant. It doesn't matter if I'm in a high. In fact, I cannot be ruled by that high. I can be tethered down to reality by the understanding of the Lord. When I find myself in a low of life and things are not nominal, they're not the way that I would desire them to be, well, the Lord, I can still be tethered. I can still be tethered to contentment and peace. I used to live a life of so much anxiousness and so much lack of peace, so much chaos. My mind was chaos. Everything was me-centered. Everything had to be about the satiation of my desires or a good time. And if I wasn't having that, and I would have had a good time at the cost of anybody. I have done evil things. I could talk for well over a service length on the sins of my past life. But that man is gone. I am content in the Lord. His presence fills me with so much peace. I don't have to worry. I'm not required to have pleasure at the end of a day in order to have peace in God. I will never return. And I want you all to think about that. Who were you before Christ? How has the presence of the Lord worked in you? And if there's anybody out there that has never experienced the presence of the Lord, I encourage you to seek, because the Word says if you seek, you will find.